Hi guys, welcome back to the Funky Evolution Party. I'm Alice Green. I thought, being a very sunny day and a full moon in Scorpio, that I would update you guys. So the lowdown is, and I've been saying this for ages, is it's up to us as a collective society to take back our power and push back on what's been going on, not just in our little lives, but on a massive global scale. I studied business, and what I really want you guys to think about is how, as businesses, do they become successful, and mainly that is by having a plan and not just accepting things for what they are and being like, oh, well, that's how it goes. I interestingly, for a bit of fun and entertainment, work for an Italian guy who thinks it's 1972, everything is done in a book and on paper, and the ability to change and move forward is extremely difficult. Now, again, we need to learn to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. The most uncomfortable situations, whether that be ask for a pay rise, whether that be approach someone that you really like, all of these extremely uncomfortable things that we're like, I can't do that, are actually what is going to take us to the next level of everybody's evolution and collective consciousness. Because you might think you don't have you don't make a difference, you don't have a say, but actually every collective decision we individually make impacts the greater collective. I've been sent on missions where I'm like, you can't expect me to do that, and I have had to do and say things that I'm like, oh my god, but I do. And through that, it has just pushed me and pushed me and pushed me to a limit that I'm like, it's okay, I am who I am, and if people don't like that, that is not your problem, that is other people's problems. Lots of like public facing fun roles, and I use them really to plant seeds in people's minds. And this is what I want to do to you guys today as well, is if I took you on a little tour of my garden, I've planted loads of seeds, which I've never really done. Normally I'm just like, oh shit, that's broken, pop it in. Oh, that's broken, pop it in. And that's how we generally run through life, is things are broken, we try our best to plug them in and remake something that has already been done. What about the new things? What about things that we haven't planted those seeds for yet? And I guess I'm a gardener, but I don't consider myself as a gardener. I'm actually a management consultant who builds community gardens, and I don't have any knowledge on plants per se. I have knowledge on how to create strategies, how to problem solve, how to manage all of those things that fall into the sphere that create a thriving garden. And I need you guys to look at your lives like a thriving garden. Recently put up this mirror, and also, what are you reflecting? What is in your reflection when you look in that mirror? Is it a thriving garden? Is it a nature reserve? Is it who you want to be, or is it not? Basically, I have created my life and my doorstep for me, not for anyone else. Yes, sure, anyone who passes it's like, whoa, that's incredible. It's not for them. This is for me and my life moving forward. And if people benefit from that, that's great. And this is how we need to start looking at how we move forward. I just watched the astrology. I've never known Scorpio to be all planets direct, great sign to run through, but apparently everything is direct. So now is the time, and the only time, where for us to say, I'm not doing that anymore, I'm not being part of that, that's not who I am, this is what I want, even if it doesn't make sense to other people. None of what I do makes sense to other people, and that's the beauty of it, is that actually I just do, based on a feeling, not a thought. And I had this conversation, again, I keep talking to you guys that, I managed to run into lots of like teenage girls and 16-year-olds, and watching them like over process information, and I'm like, stop. Part of my duty, not only as a woman or as a member of society, is to try and break this ego mind that That's what they control. They don't control your hearts, they control your minds. And part of this whole funky evolution party, and I want you guys to go back to the very first 40 videos, because now is our time to band together and push back and say, no. You have the entire, oh my God, the administration, the American administration is a joke. Everyone is a used up ex freaking entertainment cameraman, anchorman, whatever. None of them have the skills. They are talking a load of shit and people are buying it. Trump thinking that he's done 3 presidencies. You've done 2. Like, come on, you can't even count. So when we're looking at where our expectations are of who's leading us or who's directing us, and then where we're actually taking society in our lives on not just a micro but on a completely macro scale, you have to stop and say, and this is where Scorpio comes in. Not doing that. Death and rebirth. So we have had the death since 2020. I'm sure your ego, as is mine, as is the entire planet, has gone through so much, like, which is fine because, you know, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Sure. But seriously, we are on our hands and knees trying to crawl ourselves back up. And the only way we're going to do that is by not looking back, not saying, that was comfortable, so let me continue on this comfortable path, although it's completely draining me. Give you guys a short story. My life is not like, wow, and, you know, lots of this and lots of that. I have to work so hard. I want to work, but unfortunately, due to situations, it's extremely hard to try and get a job to fit into children. Normal, common. I do what I do, even to the point where I'm like, screw it, we're going on holiday. If I want something, I will work my ass off to get it. And this is what we all need to be at that point where actually I do not stop until I win. And having a mindset that is very Scorpio, like, that's not serving me, pull that weed out, put a new seed in its place. And through this death and rebirth is where we're actually going to get to where we want to be. I don't want to be grafting when I'm 60. I look at people and I just think, oh my God, like, how did we end up here? There have been a lot of people who have shown me what I don't want to be, and that has helped me in my life and where I am. And then there's a lot of people who are trying to stop me from going to where I want to be, whether that be jealousy, whether that be within themselves, they're so insecure, or that it's a power trip or a control. That's not your problem. That is their own individual problems. Your problem and my problem is going through the most uncomfortable situations. And I take you back to my sloth who can meditate on a branch and just be like, how the fuck do you sleep like that? And it's incredible. And nature and our surroundings don't have to be filled with this level of psychosis. Nature tells us everything we need to know. I have been in my garden. Just the cycle of what the garden teaches, and it's not because, I don't like doing the hard work. I know that shifting my compost, doing worm hunting, moving things from one shift to the other is what is going to create my garden for it's been 10 years, and I'm just like, wow. You turn around and you're like, impressive. Every day, one small step will take you closer to where you want to be. Every time you take a step, the entire collective takes a step. Now, very briefly, because I don't want to do more than 10-minute videos, I don't concentration and all of that in a world that's already saturated with nonsense information. This is really me reminding you all that as collective consciousness and as my meditations, a lot of what I feel, put that into the planet, put it into universal and intergalactic collective consciousness, and then repairing the fabrics of the cosmos. It needs us. Your plasma, the electromagnetics that is held everywhere, needs you. It needs me. It needs us collectively to start creating and recreating what was and into the new, into the evolutionary process of who we are as a global society, intergalactic societies. You know, I read so much nonsense, and it's like something about a 12,000 year intergalactic war, and I look at why people argue and why things happen, and you just think actually most of it is not valid. Most of it is a load of nonsense. Most of it is power trips and control versus actually me doing this is what's going to elevate everything else. We as people are not the dominant force on this planet. Bugs outnumber us, birds outnumber us, trees outnumber us. These are all living things. It is your job and my job to actually service this planet, not consistently take, blow it up, allow these psychopaths that sit at the top to dictate to us, make you work like a slave, take all your money, and then use it to blow up the planet, women and children. Why women and children? We're not the weakest link. We hold the lineage. We are the line of lineage. This is not a battle of the sexes. This is just biology and psychology. Anytime you want to win an argument, that argument also happens within you all the time. We are forever in battle with ourselves. We are forever in battle with everyone else. Wouldn't it be nice to put the weapons down and actually start looking at things from a very intellectual perspective? Is this biology? Is this psychology? Is this my ego? Is this my heart? Do you want to be 60% stronger as an individual, or do you want to remain weak and controlled? My life is not perfect. It's fine. Every day I take the necessary steps to improve it. Not because someone is pushing me. Actually, most of the time I have ropes, I have chains, I have everyone, and I still manage to drag them all with me. I am not unique to you. I have not had more opportunities than anyone else. If anything, as a mother, as a everything, it's actually been a lot worse for me than it has been for everyone else. But I still push through. And that's what I want to remind you guys. With Scorpio, death and rebirth. Goodbye, pull it out, compost it, put your new seeds in. Now is the time. We're not going to see all the planets direct and all this energy coming back round. So if you don't take advantage of it, if you don't say, this is going to be the scariest, toughest thing I've ever done, then you're weak and you're pathetic. And I'm sorry to say it as it is, but it is what it is. You have to basically toughen up, say, what's the worst that could happen? They could just say no to me, or there could be a massive yes and I move forward rather than being stuck in my head. The amount of different energies I feel is insane, but I channel them back into things. You don't need the pills. You don't need the advice. It's great that you seek advice from others, but actually the best advice comes from you and your feelings, and not overthinking things and saying, actually, this is what I need to do. It's freaking hard, but actually getting through that is what is going to make my life incredible. So I'm going to leave you there. Happy full moon in Scorpio. I think I'll plant some more seeds today. I've already got a massive nature reserve just to, because I love it. This mirror has been a pretty incredible, can we see? That is the reflection. It's a nature reserve, and we don't need to wait for anybody else. You know, the time is now. Get up off your asses, start doing the dirty work, and yeah, so happy 1st of May.